What's up, everybody? Welcome to the No Nonsense Livestream. Oh no, you didn't miss it. I'm late. What's going on? I had to do the live stream. It was supposed to be at 12:30. I had posted it on my Facebook and my Twitter, but I am now doing it at 12:13. I was hanging out with my nephew just now, and hanging out with my nephew was important. So anyway, welcome. Hello, Aerospace. Welcome. Oh man, I tell you, I'm tired, but it's okay because you can sleep when you die. So today, I was going to talk about how all intentions and the road to hell. And there's that saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I actually did a little research on it, and it's traced back as far as the 10th century with origins from Saint Bernard of Clairvaux. Now, but it wasn't, the paved part did not come until later on. It was actually the road, hell was filled with good intentions. It was later changed with pave around, I believe I have it here. What did I have written down here? Oh, my notes suck. Blah, blah, blah. It's like 17th century, 1791, Samuel Jackson. No, it's Johnson. Paved version, made popular by also James Boswell in The Life of Samuel Johnson. I'm sorry, 1791. So it's kind of got a loose origin. There's no exact thing to it, and it's I like to think actions have consequences, and in the human history, a lot of people have intentions that just lead to shitty things. Um, and I think even in your own life, if you just everything in this world, if you just trace it back to yourself, what do you do in your life? How many times have you had a good intention for somebody or something, right? And it just fucking went off the rails. I have. I think it comes with it's a lot of different things. So let's fuck with it. I believe that intentions come from your individual ego self. So everything that you're intending to do comes from something that the I wants to do. You, I, me, Matt, whatever. I want to give my girlfriend the best birthday she's ever had. And I know how I'm going to do that. Your intention is well and good, but unless you've listened to what your lady says, you might just fuck the whole thing up, you know? Unless she's like, hey, what would be really sweet on my birthday is that you just take me out to dinner, or let's just stay home. I don't want to do anything. And you listen and you go, okay, dinner, home, it is done. But if you take it upon yourself, like, that's not good enough. I think I know you want more, and decide you're going to go balls to the wall, let's say flowers at work and vacation or something crazy, diamond ring, who knows? That's not what she asked for. That's your intention. That's your interpretation of what you think your lady wants. You follow me? So it if you actually listen to people, you can figure out what people need. I used to be terrible at listening to people and what they needed. I used to hear them and just kind of hear what they're saying, but then I was just waiting to talk. And that's very arrogant on my part. It's very arrogant. It's very ego driven. And ego doesn't exist, number one. It's all you. But if you put somebody else's viewpoint or principle ahead of yours, you'll listen to them. And I've been thinking a lot lately that all good intentions in humankind might just be the road to hell. You ever think about that? Like, what was our intention with the atom bomb? To win a war, but also maybe bring about our own destruction with nuclear winters and disaster and Holocaust. Holocaust. What was Hitler's intention? You know, dive into that one because it hasn't been beaten with a dead horse. Yeah, he had good intentions, and then in return was leading to hell for a lot of different people. And a lot of people had to die for those good intentions. What else? I honestly think now today, all good intentions lead that way. So how do you remedy that, right? So well, does that mean never do anything good? Never have an intent to do good? Like, no. I think it's more or less like realize that your actions have consequences, positive and negative, and affect things way different than how you expect. So that ties into expectations. You know, expectations in this world. I used to, I always use relationships as an example because they're easy. It's easy to identify with problems in relationships, especially, when you're married or have a girlfriend or whatever. When, an anniversary comes up, depending on who you're with. See, when I was younger, I used to think like, I gotta do all this stuff. I gotta make sure we gotta spend a lot of money. And there's this expectation. Now, a lot of that turns out it was me. Turns out it was me thinking I had to do this. Now, if I would have just listened to the woman I was with, most of the time she didn't want any of that shit. She just was happy that we were fucking spending time together. It was really me because I believe it all comes from just a programming from every angle that says I'm supposed to do this shit and care and spend money, even though I do care anyway. So how do you remedy good intentions? You have to listen to others. You can't listen to yourself because I believe it comes from your ego. If I think I know what's best for you, man, we're fucked up. You're like, I'm fucked up. Like, I do not know what is anybody else needs ever. And I can't assume that I do know because I don't. The only way to know is to talk to people. Listen. When somebody's in pain or just sharing with you their thoughts or feelings on something, you have to actively listen. You have to try to turn yourself into that person, feel their pain, feel what they're going through so you can understand them. It's better to understand than to be understood. I agree with that today. I always wanted people to understand me. Like, you need to understand what it is I'm going through. It's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. You attention seeking whore. And I think that because think about laws, think about things that are just going on in today's climate of political and nonsense that I see on the internet. There's so much bullshit that people just won't accept responsibility for their own words and actions, that they will just keep going down that road until they are deep into hell. And even when they're deep into hell, they just like, well, I might as well put some more gasoline on the fire. Like, oh, I hate talking about politics, but it's a good example of good intentions. So, for example, like the Mueller report came out, turns out that our president didn't have any collusion with Russia. Somebody else's intentions were to be like, no, I so believe that this is true that I'm going to devote my energy, my time, my life to figuring this shit out. And not just one, but a group of people did that. And they were so convinced. Why? Did they think it was true? Or were they really trying to do something else? See, I believe that when you're like that, you're really just trying to go. It comes from a place of personal vain, like gain. It's not anything. You're not doing that for the greater good. You weren't doing that. They were not doing that for America. They were doing that because they're greedy and they want power. And since they don't get what they want, it's like a fucking 5-year-old when you take away their toy. They're bitch moaning and complaining about it. They're going to cry. They're going to whine. And when you're 5, the only thing you know how to do is to cry, right? When you take away something. But as an adult, unless you haven't had some serious coping skills and or life lessons, you don't know how to deal with that shit. So what do? You attack. Go fuck that person. I'm going to destroy them. And this all comes from ego. And maybe some of those people, their intentions were good. Like, I believe that the president colluded with Russia, and this is wrong. Maybe in their heart of hearts, and to be fair, maybe some of them did. But that good intention led to 2 years worth of wasted energy, and it all became nothing. There's a lesson to be learned from everybody else's mistakes, not just your own. Always learn from your own mistakes. I sure as hell fucking have. I do not I do not make the same mistakes I did, when I was 20, 21 years old. It's stupid to do that and be like, well, I wonder if it's going to be different. Now, I learned from my own shit, but I can also learn from other people's mistakes. And when you see people in power like this, it's for me, it's blatantly obvious. Like, there was never anything. And then now you've got here, oh God, again, I hate talking about things that are popular. The Jesse Smollett thing. He just got all of his charges thrown out, right? So after seeing that whole debacle, his intentions in the beginning of that were to try to make people think there's more going on than there actually is. And again, if you break life down into your own world, your own reality, none of that shit's ever really happening. It's like a manifestation. It's based off of fear. Fear with exaggeration makes for a false reality, meaning I'm going to scream and complain and shout about this thing that we're trying to make people think is a problem. But when you actually go around and just look around your town, go walk to the store, go do some daily shit, your job, this and that, and you realize that where is all this stuff coming from, this racism and shit? It's not happening. Not like not like this Jesse Smollett fucking guy said. And here's a staged act for his good intention. It was an intention to get people going, and it did. Turns out it was bullshit. He goes through the legal process. It's getting thrown out. So now what? You've got the other side of this coin with the people who knew he was full of shit in the first place are now reacting to him not getting punished at all. Not punished. What's the consequence for those actions? I don't know. Seems like not much. So I personally think that the whole thing was connected somehow and for some reason was designed to make all of us think and to react. And there's a lot of people reacting. If you're not one of those people reacting, you're definitely not a lemming and you're still in touch with your instincts. So I recommend listening to your instincts, folks. Because your instincts don't lie to you. They don't. They tell you when good is good, right is right, wrong is wrong, all that shit. They won't lie. And every action has a consequence. So no matter what your best intention could have been to throw your lady the best birthday she ever had, and it turns out to be a disaster. Your intent was good. You wanted to give the best, but you wanted to do that. It's not what she wanted, see? It's a really if you're so used to living a certain way, like I grew up for the first 30 years of my life, I believed certain things, I acted a certain way, I heard things from a lot of received opinions, not a lot of education on my own, but I thought I knew everything, which was fucking stupid because I don't. And the more I learn and teach myself stuff, and the more I'm learning, the less I actually realize I don't know anything. So what I'm doing here is trying to get people to see things in a light that you can't see left to your own devices. And I couldn't left to my own devices. I didn't see that a lot of my own behavior, although with good intent, was actually causing more harm than it was doing any good for anybody, including myself. So, well, what's the solution, Matt? Well, how do you fix that? I'm like, do you just never have a good intent? I go, no. But do realize that when people think this, like if they have an idea and they think that this idea, if it comes to fruition, is going to benefit mankind or humans or this and that, always know there's a flip side to that. With every good consequence, there's a negative, unfortunately. I've realized there's pros and cons to everything. Fuck, look at vaccines. Here's another controversial subject. Some people are all for them, some people completely against them. I myself don't believe in them. Now I think 100 years ago, this is just me with my anecdotal evidence, that people did not have they were starting to cure shit left and right. They were going back and forth, like polio, they cured smallpox, like we got, but they're like, oh, whoa, wait, hey, we can cure everything. Hey, I think this is total speculation, but just a feeling that maybe 100 years ago when they were curing all those diseases and getting vaccines for stuff, that somebody somewhere was like, yeah, we could cure everything. And they're like, whoa, pump the brakes. We don't want to do that. We don't, we don't want to cure everything, because if everybody's healthy, we can't make money. We can't control people if everybody's healthy. Think about it. Let that sink in. So the intent of making a vaccine was good. Like, we can cure everybody. And then somebody, because their ego got in the way, was like, I'm not just gonna put that over here, because I want to have that power, that control, and let people thank you. They want to hold on to that for the illusion of control. See, if you just look back in history of what is known society, I honestly think, based on the architectures and ruins from all over the earth, that we are older than we think we are, or at least that we say we are in what's accepted, like science and archaeology and all that. I really think we're human beings, and civilized society have existed at this level multiple times during courses of thousands of years. And something happened. Maybe it was something crazy, a flood or an asteroid or something. But something crazy happened that wiped almost everybody out. And then we had to start over. It's like a big red reset button, right? And then rebuilt. And the people that were left tried to rebuild as best they could, and so on and so forth. And here we are now. And society has always fallen at some point. The Roman Empire fell. The Greece fell. Everything falls eventually. The Western world is falling. It will fall. The idea that you think you can have one world government, maybe at its core had good intentions, like bring everybody together to be one. I'm like, I think it goes against human nature. It just doesn't work. And I just look at animals outside sometimes, like they don't care. They're just they live. There's squirrels out there gathering their nuts, getting fat, and they're living life, not worried about anything, except maybe when they see like a predator come, then they get a little anxious and scared, run away or flee. Human beings, we've got so many choices. We like to think our way into a solution. Like, we think we know better. I don't know. If people only realize that we're all equal. Well, all equal as opposed to what? Like, we're all human beings. I agree with that. I think throughout the world, though, there are cultural differences. Even in America, it's like, go across the world. There's a good clip, if you watch on YouTube, by what's his face, Muhammad Ali, the boxer. He talks about being different cultures, and this was recorded in like the early 70s. Great interview. He's like, there's nothing wrong with being with my own. He's like, I don't want to, why wouldn't I? Chinese people are with Chinese people, bluebirds are with bluebirds, redbirds are with redbirds. He makes a really good point. And like, well, we're all equal. I'm like, we're equal as if I think on a human level, humans with our free will thinking and all that stuff, though, not equal, in the sense of I don't know. See, this is where people get complaining. Well, we're all the same. I'm like, we're not all the same, because I am not good at, say, a sport. You know, sports were never my thing. I suck at sports. I tried it as a kid and I didn't take to it. I am more and always have been like an entertainer, a visual thinker. I like to make people laugh. I like to make people feel better. Beneath the skin, yeah. That's why it comes down. This is why, yeah, beneath the skin is a good point. This is why I think you have to know yourself as an individual and then get to know people on individual levels. If we associate people in terms of groups and institutions and industries and all kinds of shit, when then we have our own brains fuck with us and have a preconceived notion of what the individual we're talking to is about. You know, it's like a car salesman. You know, I was a car salesman. I sold cars for a short period of time, and I'm I'm really I was too nice when I sold cars. But I could tell you this: when I would go up to customers, all of them, you know, they had that car salesman mentality in their head. When they saw me say hello to them, immediately they assumed I was an asshole. And I am an asshole, but not then when I was being honest about cars and prices. But in their mind, they see a car salesman coming. So they assume that the car salesman, all of them are shady pieces of shit. A lot of them are. A lot of them are ego-driven fucking salesmen, but not all of them. A lot of salesmen, people felt like you were fake. Yeah, they did. But the problem with that was when I was selling cars, I was told I had to follow this really ridiculous 10-step fucking sales thing. And if you didn't follow this 10-step sales thing, you got fucking yelled at like you wouldn't believe. Had I had just been allowed to be myself, if I could have been one of the best salesmen there. If I would have just went up to be like, "Hey, what's up? I'm Matt, you know, how you doing?" I know I could have sold a shit ton of cars if they would have just let me be me. But I was going again. This is that whole thing about this ties into you know, the intentions. This intentions of a 10-step method for this one fella that they made me follow worked in like the fucking 70s, but it worked for him. It doesn't mean that if you apply that to everybody who's going to be a salesman, is it going to work? It's not. It doesn't work for everybody. What works for me in my life may not necessarily work for you, and vice versa, but can learn from other people. You know, to think that was the only way to sell cars was arrogant and very naive on their fucking part. Had I just been able to go up to people and be me, me, because I used to work for Armani too. I sold high-end fashion suits. Now there was no sales method there. It was just go help the customer. And I go, okay. And I was able to be myself. I was a fucking rock star at that job. I left that job as a sales supervisor because I was that fucking awesome. Not only could I sell shit, I was a good salesman. I had clients there that were like, you know what? You're one of the only salesmen I've ever come across that wasn't a pushy dude. And I like that because most, if not all people, don't like somebody telling you you need something when you don't, right? So if you just go and listen, this goes back to listening. This is all connected. Great that you brought this up. If you just listen to somebody and hear what they need and want, you can then adopt your own behavior to give them what they need or want. I want, you know, car sales. I want a blue 4-cylinder, good gas mileage, reliable car. You go, okay, here's the blue 4-cylinder gas mileage car. Instead of like most people like, nah, you don't want that. You want the giant fucking SUV that's way overpriced, sucks on gas, and you can't afford, but we can get you a deal today. Nobody wants that. They want truth. They want honesty. I want honesty. I know I do. So I live my life honesty. So it comes down to individuals, man. Individual basis. You have to live your life honestly. Be honest, tell the truth, and doesn't matter if people are liars. You can't control other people, other places, and things, but you can control you. So you keep doing that. You live, you tell the truth, be yourself, always be honest. You will gain your own personal integrity, which again, I think integrity is really important to me. My integrity. I'll tell anybody anything. I'll always be honest when I'm asked something. I don't care. I live that way, and it shows through my actions, not just my words. So you gain a certain reputation as that person has integrity. Integrity really means like no matter what you do, you don't bend for other people based on how they think you should do things. Like you stick to your guns and you keep trucking forward. That's integrity. That's how you gain real respect in this world. And that's how people truly view you. If you're going for the fake shit like social likes and hey, do this and I like you, that's not real. That is fake. That is going to lead that will lead your intention to please others will lead you to hell. I know. Trust me. But if you're just yourself, man, yeah, I could have been a great car salesman at Toyota if they would have just let me be me. Instead, I had to follow this thing that went against all the grains of my inner instincts, all of it. But if I didn't do it, I got yelled at. So at the time, I was reacting out of fear. I had to do this. I had to follow the steps. If I didn't, I got my ass reamed. I didn't want to get reamed. I was really young when I worked there. And I was like, dude, I don't like getting yelled at. So fucking, I had to, I just adjusted and I did that shit. Today, nope. And I'm not saying my way is definitely better than the way that's been like set out, you know? Some things you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Some things are fine just the way they are. You just need to get on the path and start walking it. Like honesty, truth, keeping an open mind, and a willingness to do shit. Those things don't ever change. The path is laid out. You could stray from the path, be like, well, I guess I could tell a lie. You're not on that. You don't have to. You think you know better. And again, ego, arrogance, thinking you know better. I don't. But I do know there were other people throughout history who have told us certain ways. And I'm listening now. I'm listening now to these people. And I tell you, it's helped me a lot in my life. It's helped me a lot in my life. And, oh, nephew's crying. You know, and proverb has some moral background. What, don't assume. I've learned to not assume that what I do with the best of intent is going to give me a positive outcome. I just go, I don't know. And I'm just going to be me and be in the now. And when I'm in the now, everything's fine. Don't worry. And when I don't worry about the future or dwell on the past and I'm in the now, everything's great. That's about as good as life. That is as good as life gets. Sorry. Yeah, I've been on all sides of the spectrum with money and stuff and things and toys and gizmos and gadgets and who's it's and what's it's. And I find that if you're just in the now, everything's great. Be where you're at, no matter where you're at. You're at work, be at work. Focus. Whatever's right in front of you, the task at hand, the person in front of you, whatever it is you're doing. Then you can't worry about the future. And you sure as hell aren't living in the past. And I think most people aren't aware that when you have an intention to, even if it's something really good, like this is going to change the world, that's an ego thing. You can't change the world. You can change yourself. And by doing that, maybe somebody will notice what you're doing and ask you, hey, what is it you're doing that makes you this way? Then you can share that information with them. And it's up to them whether they choose to apply that to their life or not. You know, I've been studying a lot of stuff from Taoism, Buddhism, Christianity, and all the concepts and ideas I found are very similar. They're all the same. Self-reflection. Look at yourself. Take care of your own shit. Live it. Don't just say it. Live it. Be a man or a woman of your word, and you'll be fine. Do what you say what you do, live for your own integrity. That shit will shine through in the long run, the mid to long term of your life. People who have short-term game, you know, their intentions, they're good. So, I believe the road to hell is always paved with good intentions, meaning that no matter your intention, it's going to lead to some kind of hell. So the best solution to that is to sometimes, just be, accept it, and just be. Because, like, again, just look at human history. There's so many prime examples. I don't know what the intention was to make like the atomic bomb's an obvious one. Why? Why did we need to make that? Just to say we're rub our own, dicks and be like, hey, we could do that. That's all it was. An ego thing. Made for destruction. That's all it was. And again, stroking some man's ego dicks that are like, can we make this bomb? We can. And then they did. And why? Yeah, it's destruction. We'll bring upon our own destruction with those intentions. You see what I'm saying? This is why I believe if you really sit back, think about your own life. Again, don't even think about the examples of human history which exist. At the end of all this, that's all it is. Last episode, I mentioned a power struggle with the powers that be. Yeah, and that's that whole thing where I believe individuality, because if you are comfortable, not even comfortable, just being, you can navigate this world with open eyes, without fear, and without worry. It's not hippy dippy or some weird shit. This shit's been talked about for thousands of years. If you just crack open a book, look into the history and concepts, everything, it's always there. It all depends on, do you want to listen and apply it, or do you just go, nah, I like money and things and Amazon, so I'm going to do that. So many people to help, and we're worrying on who has the biggest army, ships, and jets. I used to think that, but I think that's also a smokescreen. I think, again, my evidence is anecdotal, but I just observe patterns. It's all a smokescreen. We've had the biggest army and stuff like that, and it's not just, they're all working together. Every government in this world is working together with the intent that I believe they get to keep their individuality, their nation, their all that stuff, their whatever comes with their, stuff. But I think they all know what's going on. All the head leaders are just there, and the powers that be, whoever they are, we don't know who they are. I mean, we know who they are. And of course, there's a lot more going on. Yeah. Oh yeah. The shit that you see is what they allow us to see. The real players who control everything are sitting, you don't know who they are. Like, they are not public figures that make themselves known on Instagram or Facebook. And the ones who are the billionaires, I believe, are the puppets of them. They're just their little errand boys. Now, again, that's a rabbit hole. If you want to go down, you can go down it. It leads down to a lot of your own personal darkness and torment. And the one thing that I've done with is I go, you know what? It's out of my control. My individual self, Matt Yaga here, it's out of my control. So I just let it be. Because the more I worry about something I have no control over, I suffer. There's probably a group of more powerful individuals. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there is. There is. Without a doubt. But again, you could speculate, you can think, like, I just know there is. My instincts tell me otherwise. Like, I have practiced so much being in the now of this world that I can see things for what they are. I could see through the bullshit. I could see through liars, who's being honest and who's just out for themselves. And at the end of the day, most human beings are very selfish, self-centered, and when push comes to shove, will retreat into self-preservation. And that's just natural. It is, nature. I don't nature. I don't want to say nature, but and because people are like, well, we're not animals. I'm like, well, we are, and we're not. We're the only animals that have, again, are so smart, we're stupid. And now, if you want to go down the cabal of evil people, they're out there, and that's fine. But if you just, again, what I have found that keeps me grounded on this earth right now at this time in human existence is the fact that what can I do with the world around me in my immediate world, my day to day? Nobody gives a shit. When I go to work, when I come home, it's about what's around my world, my family, the few friends I have. That's it. Do what I can in that world, and it will shine through, to others who want it, and that's it. Other than that, I don't worry about it. I've been down for a couple years ago. I went down through so many rabbit holes. I was everything. I went down the chemtrail rabbit hole, the Planet X rabbit hole, the Rothschild rabbit hole. You name it. I've already been down there. The moon. Like I went down them all, and I spent a lot of days just digging through. Like, oh my god, it's totally true. And when I came to the point of just accepting it, like, it's going to happen one way or another. And it comes down again, looking at yourself and accepting the fact that, well, one day I'm going to die anyway, right? So if I accept my own death, living's pretty easy. I know it sounds weird, but you can't live in fear. I've realized that two things spawn in this world. They either come out of fear or it comes from love. All the control, all the things, they make you think are important, but if you don't have, you're going to be scared to not have it, fear. But when you just love, and love is all you need. But when you apply it, I found the best results in my own life is when I just love, because the fear part comes from my own ego going, I want what Matt wants right now. And if Matt's not getting what he wants because he has an expectation, now everything's in disarray. I am distraught. I'm disappointed. I'm irritated. I'm discontent. But when I love and I do something lovingly without any expectation, without anything in return, I feel just, there aren't words to describe it, but I feel there, like I'm being. Not like that's the answer, but in my experience of life, being super overcaring to being thinking about all about myself and everything else in between, that's what I found. And it's all written and it's all been passed down from generations who tried to, warn us about evil or good. I don't really like to look at things as labels anymore. I look at it as it is what it is. Because when you put something as good or evil, right, wrong, you're trying to identify with it. If you can identify it, then you can pick it apart intellectually and your brain starts going to work at it. Some things, if you just go, it is what it is, don't warrant explanation. They just happen. It's there. And everybody wants to explain away everything. Some things I just don't think are explainable. But human beings, with science and everything, we're very, like, again, we're so smart, we're stupid. We classify everything, we categorize everything, we put it all into nice, neat little piles and boxes and label it and go, this rock is emerald. It's a wonderful thing. This mineral. And then we just, we label it, we put all these words to it, which is great. But then sometimes I think other things are just, if you just, it is what it is. Can't explain. Well, I don't know if you can explain it. Like I said, it's all, look at your own individual stuff. These powers that be, these groups, it's all ego driven. They don't even know the rest of the world exists. They don't know I exist. They don't know you exist. They don't know there's a lot more people than they think. They know about their little group of people that they like that power. I get it. Dude, I get it. I have a group of friends that we grew up together. We're close. We're tight. ins and outs, no matter what. Human beings tend to gravitate towards those groups. Anybody who comes in or out, they're getting the ringer. It's like a built-in mechanism of defense for humans. If you're not in the group, you're out. And anybody who's out, fuck them. There's no compassion. So this idea that we all should be compassionate for others, it goes against our instincts. It really does. This is why I believe you can't control a group of people, but you can control your own self. So it's really up to you. How much love do you want to give? How much fear do you want to live into? I don't live in fear today. I just don't. I've accepted the fact that one day I'll die. That's fine. What happens? I don't know. So it makes me enjoy today, because today is now, and now is all I have. All we have is right now at this moment. You watching, sitting here right now. This is your day, this exact moment, experiencing this whole live stream. This is now. After this, who knows? But right now, this is life. Everything at this moment is fine. But it's really hard for people who live on their soul-sucking cell phones and are just so brainwashed by all this nonsense. But I think the powers that be, whatever they are, whoever they are very aware of that. They know that the control thing is slipping away, and that's okay. I think every time bad shit happens, it's not in vain. Good comes from shit happening. If you think about even just the last 500 years of human existence, we went from the Middle Ages, swords and axes on a battlefield, to a civil war, to all this other shit, to today, where now we have the most high-powered weapons, but we aren't fucking we're still at war in a way, but we're not lining up in the battlefields with tens of thousands of people slaughtering. You know what I mean? So it's a slow process forward. As a group, as a whole, as a person, that's on you for you in your own life. How that looks for you in this short window, on this plane, on this earth, is up to you. Acceptance and patience. Yeah. Acceptance is the answer, and patience comes in time. Yeah, patience is not one of those things that, especially for my own, I always speak for myself. I used to not have any patience because, again, I grew up in a world where everything was so fast paced. Like, you got to get it now, you got to go to school, got to get this, got to get that. And it's all these distractions from keeping you from that inner being, the self that's you, your soul, call it whatever you want, label it something so you feel comfortable, your instincts, but those instincts don't lie. They're bopping up. It's in there. It's built into you. It's like there. But all this other shit's telling you, like, no, you want all this other stuff. You want some drugs. You want to fuck that woman. You want to go down that path. You want these things. You want a big house. You want all these cars. You want that stuff. Like, yeah, sort of. But once you get it, what then? Life continues. You're going to drive around in your car all day. I did when I was 16. I'm not going to lie. I really look forward to having a license when I was 16. I had a badass Mustang, and that's all I did was go driving. But, that was when I was 16. It was a new experience. I hadn't done it. After a while, I don't go driving anywhere today for the sake of driving. Even if I had an awesome car again, it's like, fuck do I want to drive around for? It's like, whatever. But patience comes only as an individual, I think. You have to practice that on your own life, your own experiences, how you react to every situation you're put in daily, everything. I've learned probably the most patience in my life within this last year of my life. Honestly. And it's amazing because I know 5 years ago, no fucking way. I would have just been like, nope, I'm out. Bye. I would have not have been like sat back. It's because, and this is true, I put somebody else's needs ahead of my own. I thought about the person, and as I got outside myself and just was able to be caring and loving towards someone else, it made me not even think about me. It just dissolved my ego to the point where it didn't even exist. And I was able to all those worries about, I got to do what I want. I got to go do this. I got to go, gone, because I was being serviceable to another human. And that's something you got to ask yourself. And just something you have to practice on your own, man. You really do. And how I found, always be honest, try to keep an open mind, and ask yourself every day, what are you willing to do today? You know, everything, always turn it into your own life experience. How did I get thin? People look at me and they go, are you sick? Are you dying? I go, no. I decided a few years ago that I wanted to take care of myself. I started eating better. But it was a slow process for me. It wasn't just like, oh, the next day. I'm not, because for me, I learned that whole gung ho shit where it's like, all right, fuck it, I give up everything, and I'm gonna go join the gym, and I'm fucking. That doesn't work. It doesn't work for anybody because it's an unrealistic expectation of yourself. Number one, you're lying to yourself because the truth is, I don't want to give up this shit. I like eating this way, but I'd feel like shit and I want to be healthy. See, that's the conversation you need to have with yourself. It's I and me. And the I always wants what the I wants. The I thinks it's helping me out, but it's not. And I was like, yeah, let's eat the cake. And you're like, I don't want to eat the cake. He's like, I want the cake. And you're going to eat it. So you have to make that conscious decision and choice. Like, well, I know that if I eat, steak and potatoes, I feel a lot better. And if I eat McDonald's, I feel like I'm going to die. Which one makes me feel better? Well, this one, so I have to practice eating that more. Again, my story. I slowly dropped 65 pounds in a couple years. And, when you don't see somebody for like a year or two, and then all of a sudden you're in front of them, and the last time they saw you, they remember you from the last time they saw you, and you don't look the same because you were like, 2-3 sizes bigger and look like shit. And then you see them and they're like, instead of being like, wow, you look really good, they're like, are you sick? You can't win in either direction. You can be 400 fucking pounds and dying of diabetes, and then you can get down to $150 and people are like, do you have cancer? And the scary thing about that is that's how we're conditioned to think. When people get healthy and start living a life, we like to be like, is something wrong with you? Are you okay? Are you sick? Are you doing all right? That's not right. It shouldn't be that way, but we think it is because of all this nonsense that we live in. Bullshit. This is why I named this the No Nonsense Livestream. No bullshit here. Okay? There's no bullshit. I don't want bullshit here. Nobody wants bullshit. And I think most people do that. They just don't want to, they can't even say it in their own life, in their own social circle of family and friends. Because even in that own social circle of family or friends, you get ostracized, you get criticized, you get shunned, you get banned, you get made fun of. And to live this life, you have to not give a fuck what anyone else thinks and just live honestly and do it for yourself. Other people will notice. You will attract other people that go, hey man, that guy's straight shooter, he talks right and seems to have a good head on his shoulders. I want to be friends with that person. Seems reliable and I could trust him and respect him and this and that and the other. You'll get those people. It'll shave off all the snaky, shady fucks in your life that are just, and that's okay. Those people just don't know. They don't want to. That's how they live life. But, you will push them away the more you change. Acceptance and patience, my friend, is damn true. I can't change the world. I can't change people. I have to accept those people as they are at that moment in time, but I can change my reaction to how I do that. I could change my perception on things. I can look at stuff because I choose to look at stuff a different way today. I want to look at it. I can't not look at things a different way today and see things for what it is, and then also dig apart the true things behind it. Like I look at patterns of human behavior and then I dissect it. I look at it from a perspective that just helps me grow as a person, and it helps me navigate this world without fear. And I don't fear shit anymore. Like I used to be so like, what if I don't? Nobody cares. At the end of the day, this is your life. You live it here and you walk around every day. So it's up to you to do what brings you joy in this world. And for me, I found the void that I had for a lot of years always gets filled when I am doing something for another person without any strings attached, no expectations. When I'm willing to be like, I'm willing to do this because I'm willing to do it. It's because I want to, not because I have to or feel obligated or I'm trying to impress anybody, because I don't do that fucking shit anymore. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. I've had enough life experience and, again, past mistakes that I just don't live my life to impress anybody. But by being myself and just being honest, people like that and can see that. And just by being myself, I am liked. How about that? And I get it. We've had so much bullshit of, like what you need to do. Like, I would do this to make myself look special and people that like me. It's like nobody cares. Nobody gives a fuck. Like, there might be that if you're jealous of somebody or else, that all comes from an ego-based sense of like, if somebody has something that I want, like a car, a house, a job, or money, you know what? It doesn't exist. Take it all away. What are we? We are equal. We're just human beings. If tomorrow there were no more food delivered to the grocery stores, can you hunt? Can you get your own food? Got to ask yourself that question. Probably not. I know how to handle a weapon, but can I grow food? I can garden a little bit, but I don't know how to do full-blown agricultural shit. So there's things I can learn in the face of like real good values and skills that would be useful in case society ever did go away. But again, good intentions. We have all this wonderful food delivered to the grocery store, but it's also poisoned. For another video. But if you take everything, just goes back to the self, inside out, man. Know that we are a being. Know that you exist. Accept your own death, and everything else is fine. Really, it is. Acceptance. Patience comes in time the more you accept things. And that's really by letting go, too. Letting go of the things you think should be a certain way and just letting it be. More good outcomes of my life in the last several years have happened because I don't interfere and make shit happen the way I think it should. I just kind of let it go, let it be, and it just starts falling into place. I don't know how to explain it. It just does. And then the minute I try to be like, you know what, I know better, and then when Matt takes over and my ego gets through the roof, then it goes off the rails. Then then bad energy's there. Somebody's pissed off. My girlfriend's mad. I hate everybody at work. Something. That's me. I am the problem. But when I just go, I look at everybody in a loving light, and I'm just like, hey, you know what? What can I do for you today? Always, 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 that hole is filled. Jumped on late, but great reminder for me. Thanks, man. Anytime, Tony. I'm the problem anywhere I go. And the thing is, when people are acting up or getting nutty or making their own mistakes, you can learn from them. Learn. I've learned wonderful mistakes from other people by watching them crash, burn, do whatever it is, but then turn it around, And then my own life, of course, numerous shit I've done where I go, if I do this again, it seems obvious, but let's be honest, it's not obvious because, in the Western world, we like what we like. We want to get what we can, when we want it, when we want it, we need it now. There is no patience. Everything can be brought to you at an instant. I can get on this computer, I can go to Amazon, and if I want a book, I can get that book and I can have it delivered today if I pay even extra money, or if I have Amazon Prime. Like, it's so instant. Everything that we used to have to work for and enjoy is now just instant. So now that everything's instant, now what do you get to work on? Yourself. I've realized that now that everything's readily available and everything's pretty easy to live, now what do? Look on the inside out. Start thinking about what other people need. And I found always that when I listen to other people and hear what they need, not what I think they need, I'm truly being like connecting with others, and I'm truly centered and balanced in life. No bullshit, always. But the minute I think I know better than what the other person is, or I think I know what that person needs, and that's not a sense, it depends on situations. Like, if somebody doesn't know how to change a tire on a car, and I know that you got to put the jack here and you got to do that, that's not knowing, like, thinking you know what that person needs. That's just knowing a skill that person's unaware of, and you're helping them out. There's a difference. But if somebody's trying to tell me about their problems, and I'm hearing about something they're dealing with, and I'm trying to think like, well, what you need to do is go do this, and that's going to help you out. Like, that's ego arrogance. I'm not listening. I just broke up with my girlfriend. Well, I should probably go fuck a whore then. Now, see, that's a joke, but that's my first initial thought. I'm like, well, fine, you're free to go find somebody. But if I really hear the pain in a person, like say they were just going through a breakup, and I'm listening to this person and they're telling me that, we went this, that, and the other, and I'm connecting with the pain because I've been there. I felt it. I understand. I can feel it. And I know there's always more to it than just a simple solution. Like, well, what you got to go do is this, and that's going to fix everything. Because it's not. There's not one simple solution. It's usually a whole plethora of some things that you need to do to get over shit like that. Like, I was reminded on Facebook today that a year ago, my uncle passed away. He got diagnosed with cancer. Like, a month later, he was gone. It was quick. Like, I didn't even know he was fucking sick. So, and he was only 61. So he was 59, 60. He was young. And when that happened, it's like, for me, the way I process stuff is I felt the sadness at the time, right? But then I was able to talk about it with, people, and share like what I was going through, and let people know, like, I might be a little weird for a little bit because, this unexpected thing in my life happened, and I'm dealing with it. And this is how I'm going about dealing with it, instead of, holding into that pain and then projecting that pain onto somebody else, or just not dealing with it or talking about it. And I was able to work through how I felt by just knowing with a sense of gratitude. And this is how I dealt with it. I looked at, there was a month, the month before my uncle died. I remember I went and visited him and my aunt. They were at my grandpa's house. My sister told me, like, hey, since you're off today, we're going to grandpa's. You should come out. Your aunt and Uncle Chuck, Uncle Chuck, Aunt Barb are there. Come see them, because they live in Indiana. We live in Illinois. So again, I'm like, well, I never see him, and I didn't know he was sick. So I was kind of being selfish that day. It was my day off, and I'm like, you know what? I'll drive out there. I'll go see him. I'm not doing anything else today. And I did, and that was the last time I got to see my uncle in person. And I remember we had a great conversation. Like, he was a funny fucking dude, and we were joking, and we always, and I'm a guy who uses comedy a lot. So, we can joke with each other, and I got to talk to him and listen, and everything was great. I didn't know at that time that'd be the last time I'd ever see him. So when I found out he passed away, I was able to look at his life in gratitude and not like, oh my God, I lost something, but like grateful the fact that I got to spend time with him before he died. So my perception was of a great, even in a death, I was able to find the light, if that makes sense. And through my uncle's death, just like reflecting on the good things and being able to share life with him and the gratitude helped me get through dealing with the pain of his death. That wouldn't have come without being honest about how I felt, a willingness to tell people about what I was going through and sharing it. And, with people that I trusted, it's not just something you talk to somebody who's like, well, I hope you feel better. Cause, there are some people in this world with their good intentions just don't understand. And their good intentions are going to fuck things up more than they're going to do any good. So I've learned that even in a dark situation, turn it around and try to be grateful for something. Think of something and it will change your perception on the situation and you will be okay. Now maybe the other people around you, they're all going to react differently. That's why you have no control over people, places, and things. They are going to people people are going to you can't predict how people are going to react to something. You just don't know. You know you though. And if you talk with yourself, the I and the me, and have a conversation with you, you will know how you will react to certain things. And you can have an idea, but until you go through that situation, most of the time you don't know. But I know being at where I was at in my life with that particular thing with my uncle, how I looked at it was like such a healthier way of walking through that rather than, and I saw here prime example is like my cousin, her dad, that was her dad. And, like most people who grieve, they grieve with a lot of emotion, anger. And she was so angry, like, why did you have your dad and I don't have mine? And that comes from the ego. Because anger comes from loss. You only get angry because you fear losing something. Again, fear, always there. Anger's over there somewhere. Anger comes from a sense of loss. And if you look at your own life and you analyze whenever you get angry, you got to ask yourself, what am I losing? I'm losing something. That's why I'm angry. Or I'm fear losing something. Or I think I'm losing something because, again, control, fear, anger, it all stems together, man. And this is why I believe it's important to just always look at your own life around you and what you can and can't do about it. And it will help. And you practice those concepts in your own day-to-day life, you can navigate through the world. You can cut through bullshit. You can see through nonsense. You'll attract people that live life like that too. Because believe it or not, there are honest, trustworthy, respectable people out there. I used to think everybody were shitheads and everybody can't trust the world. And that's a shitty way to live too. I've learned to trust people because I trust when people are talking to me that are being honest. And I respect people being honest with me. Maybe it's something they say and I don't like it. But if I know you're being honest with me, I respect that and I can be your friend. It doesn't matter if I like it or not. It's the fact that you're being honest. And I respect honesty way more than somebody to tell me what they think I fucking want to hear. Because I have a thick skin today. I can take, bullshit, and I'm out of coffee. Fuck. So, for those of you watching, comments, concerns, because I feel like there's several people here, hit me up with something. Because other than that, I'll just keep going. And which I don't mind, because those of you who know me, I can talk a lot. I feel the talk. Oh, a friend tagged me. Yo, dude, that's fucking crazy. I don't normally pick up my fucking phone during a live stream, but we were talking about my fucking when I was a car salesman, my old boss just tagged me in something on Facebook. They're reading my mind. You got a Discord? Discord? What do you mean? You got a Discord? Discord with what? I got a lot of Discord. I don't know. With whom? With what? Tell me. Oh shit, really? Discord? What's a Discord? I am confused by the question. Elaborate on that for me a little bit. But that is kind of weird that my old boss when I worked at Toyota just tagged me in something. We keep in contact. We're not really keep in contact. PC and phone. Oh, why? Is there PC and phone? I don't think so. Something wrong? You can talk. You can talk to people on it. Oh, I think so. Oh, like Skype, shit like that. Dude, you can create like a server. Hmm. I have been thinking that I do need to create my own website because platforms like YouTube and Facebook and all that, they're great, but the powers that be that rule those places, they're all crashing and burning now. They had a nice decade run, and when they start to get to that ultimate power, people just come in there and either the people that are running them shut it down or they get shut down or you can't make a living or they censor you, and censorship's going crazy right now with people that are speaking truth. And I don't claim to be a truth teller. I just don't bullshit people. I'm always honest. That's it. I'm always honest. You may not like the way it comes off, but I'm being honest with you. So create a server. I see that's out of my expertise. That's where I would need help. And I have a problem asking for help. Even me. I've always tried to do shit on my own, which is my Achilles heel. When I just realized there are other people that are way more qualified and equipped to do stuff like create a website or what you're talking about here. It's easy. Maybe for you, a Discord would be cool. Email me more information on that at twoyaga@gmail. I'd be interested. Click of a button. A Discord would be cool. Fine. You see, I'm learning right now. Thank you. In that 5 minutes here, you taught me something that I'm not aware about. I know how to make my videos and put my little camera up and a microphone, and that's about it. And there's still other shit. Even with YouTube, I'm still learning. Discordapp.com. Okay, cool. Well, it's held for review. You show. I will check that out. That's cool. I did not know about that. Create an account and download the app. Discord, I'm going to write it down too. Thank you. Discordapp.com. See, had I not asked anything, I would have just been talking out my ass. But now that right there might help to grow something. So cool. Thank you very much, Aerospace. I appreciate that. I will check out discordapp.com. You can look up tutorials. Oh yeah, perfect. Dude, that's why I loved YouTube, because I've taught myself all kinds of shit from YouTube tutorials, And if they have tutorials, great. I'm a visual learner. I can pick up on stuff pretty quick. Then we can join and talk with you easily. Okay, cool. Right. All right. Well, fine. Well, that might be a next step into this whole live streaming thing. Discord app. Tutorials. All right. I'll check it out. And I'll get back to you on what I find from that, but it gives me something to investigate and try something new. So thank you. I appreciate that. See, this is when people help people out and are willing to that know other things. It's like you take your car to a mechanic because a mechanic knows how to work on your car, unless you're gifted and you know how to do it yourself. But you know what I mean. A plumber knows how to plumb. An electrician knows how to get the electricity right. Ego thinks like, nope, I'm going to fix everything. Public chats, and you can create your own ranks like admins, moderators, and they can ban people. Perfect. Sweet. Okay, cool. I like it already because I love YouTube. I started off on YouTube 4 years ago, just making funny videos, and because I needed an outlet. But now with these live streams and stuff, I feel like I just feel if you're a channel coming into your own, unless you get like a significant push from somebody who's already there, I mean, it's dead. Not dead in the sense of like if you want to earn a living, but like just getting good stuff out there. There's too much. It's gotten corrupted, but everything gets corruptible. That's what I'm saying. Like the intention of YouTube was probably amazing when it first started, and then it just went off the rails as the decade went on. But cool. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. Discordapp.com. And you know about that too, Tony? I'm subbed to some other channels that have Discord, and it's easy to interact with others and the creator. Easier than YouTube? I mean, if it's easy and people, if it gets traffic, it's not the matter of like I'm trying to get traffic, but I feel like when I have conversations with people, like again, I can make videos of me just blasting all kinds of things for days. Hell yeah, easier. Okay, cool. Well, you guys got me interested, so thank you. I'll definitely figure that out. Let's see here. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's wrap this up then, since it's been over an hour, and then I will. I'll look into that, and then maybe once I figure this out, because I got time. I'll look into it later this week, and then maybe next week we'll do one on there. But let me check it out. I'll figure it out. I'll go check it out now. So thank you, and give me a like, share if you appreciate the likes, and share when you can, or with people you know. Also, what's your name? Matt Yaga, my friend. You can call me Yaga. Why is my name Yaga, you might ask? The channel is the word of Yaga. Back in the inception of my channel, okay, Matt, or you can call me Matt, whatever you want. It comes from my last name, which is Jagozinski, which is Polish. So my nickname's Yaga, and I just adopted the name. I go by Matt Yaga as an alias. So nice shirt. Yeah, you like that? This is all part of the plan. It's all part of the plan. Comedy mixed with honest truth. Cool. Thank you for that. And thank you, Aerospace. Thank you, Tony. Discordapp.com. All right, fellas, ladies, or whoever's watching. Thank you. And let's see, next week, think of a topic. Send me an email at another Polak. I'm in good company then. Oh, yeah. We have stories then to tell. A lot of Polish people. Yeah, I grew up with a lot of hardcore Polish people and Slovak people in my family. So, yeah, we got plenty to... We're in great company. So, send me a topic. I don't know what next week will be about yet. I haven't thought that far ahead because I'm always in the now. But TWOYaga@gmail. Throw me some ideas. More information like this about something I'm not aware of is great, because now I'm learning too. And I'm stupid when it comes to this technology shit. I'm good at writing material and also talking, but sometimes this is foreign to me. So, all right. Everybody have a good afternoon. Like this, comment, share, and check out some of my other videos if you haven't. If you like animations, I have dark humor. So thank you very much. Everybody have a good afternoon.